All right. It is 11:59. Recording is in progress. And I'm just on the WebEx muting folks also, just in case the button doesn't work for whatever reason.
Let me give you guys a little bit of music. Does it sound terrible?
We could
Sounds
do better.
like my garage band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, I didn't know you played in a garage band.
It's the best I could come up with in such a short.
Hey.
Actually, it's my phone. The speaker sounds terrible. It's probably blown. Trying to play a little jazz through Amazon Music, but.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, I get it now. Now, with context, the music sounded awesome.
All right, so it is 12 o'clock. Mike, go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and HSO members and family. Thank you for joining us today in our first of the year professional development webinar. Our guest speaker for today is Robin Burrow, who is the CEO of Omnikron Corporation. Robin actually participated on a webinar with us in July of 2017, and it was well attended and very well received that we thought it'd be good to circle back with her to kind of go into the next steps of our professional development, our careers, and taking ownership of, putting us in position to kind of make ourselves relevant and continue to be relevant in the business as well as the community at large. So now I will turn it over to Robin.
That's wonderful. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming to the webinar, and Odie and Michael, thank you so much for setting it up. I'm super excited to see you guys this morning. We're going to have an interactive session, and this is based on some of the things that we fired up the last time that we were together. The theme was competing for your future, and I showed you 4 things you can do to really elevate your career. At Omnicron, we've been in business for 37 years. And we are based in Los Angeles. We are a partner with Verizon for over 21 years. I grew up with you when you were GTE out here on the West Coast. And we do 2 things predominantly, which is important for you all. We have a staffing division and a training division. So I've been cultivating people's careers for over 30 years. And we had some takeaways to where I could show, gosh, I've been through 3 or 4 major recessions where an entire community of jobs is lost overnight. Aerospace.com, the internet up and down, the mortgage up and down. And when you have a community of thousands and thousands of people and all the jobs are gone, then what do? So a lot of our topics are based out of how we've just worked with tens of thousands of people over the years to really elevate their career. And I've seen some people just miss. They constantly miss the bullet. They constantly are upgrading, getting promoted. So our talk today is based on that. But rather than talk about it, I'm excited to be back with you because we're going to get into it. And I'm going to need some volunteers. So first and foremost, it's really good for my ego. I know this is for you, but you make the speaker feel good. And find your chat bar and say good morning to me. Just chat, hello, Robin. Let me know if you were in the first presentation, so yes or no. Okay, that will really help me to see if I need to do a little bit of refresh. But yeah, everybody just chat up. I want to see that chat blowing up. Excellent. Good morning, Mary. Good morning. Okay, good. Excellent. Yeah, come on in, because I'm going to use some of you guys for examples if you are a little bit willing with me. Thank you. Good morning. Good to see you. And I don't know, Odie, if you have even the recording from the last time, but after today, it would be a good little bundle to have. So good morning, everybody. Thank you. Portions of it. Excellent. Okay, let's dig right in. I'm going to share my screen so that my animations work, and I also have a lot of browsers open. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into it, starting with, our beginning slide. So slideshow from the beginning. All right, and today is February 22nd, which is cool because the things that we're going to talk about could be implemented as of February 23rd, or even as soon as we get off the line today. And you could be looking at yourself 90 days from today with a whole new network, maybe even some new skills, and you could have more career options or promotion options or career acceleration options in the next 90 days. So I'm glad that we're meeting early today. We're going to start by just doing a quick refresh on the 4 steps to career acceleration. I'm going to do like I do. I'm going to take you guys to the past this time. I always spend so much time in the future. But then don't worry, I'm going to look ahead to the future, and then we're going to look at the now. We're going to do some demos, and then I've got some gifts for you. I don't know if you remember this, but there were 4 steps you needed to take to enhance your career. And if you always do these, you will be in a ready position. So number 1 key to marketing is the same as number 1 key to working on your career. It's always working on the audience. Are you placed in an industry that is growing, right? That's if I'm going to market somebody, or if I'm going to market a widget, you don't start with the widget. You don't start with the thing. You always start with, who are the buyers? Are there enough buyers? Are they willing to part with their money? In career management, it's like, where are the jobs? And are companies valuing them so much that they'll pay a lot of money, and also how much competition is out there? Sort of a macro view. And when I career counsel people, the number one, and I've career counseled, thousands, okay, all over the world. They all do the same thing. Everybody sits across the desk and they start with who they are, what their skills are, what they want to do. And I'll just always stop them right there and say, let's get to that second. Let's first talk about, the industry. Where are the jobs? What are companies paying for? Let's start with the audience. Let's start with the market. Then we'll morph your resume and your career path towards something that we think will give us a 5-year to 10-year boost. That's how I always look at things. So the second thing is the success portfolio, and that is literally just keeping your resume fresh and your LinkedIn profile fresh. To do that today, I'm going to hack through it so that it is not daunting. We talked about eyebrow raisers last time. You guys did really good on those. So if you weren't at the first session, find a buddy from the chat who was and practice on your eyebrow raisers. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I'm going to just keep pressing on you all to learn. You're here today. I know that you're all learners and that you're also working on your network. So those were the 4 things for just refreshment. Now let's build on that. I need to show you something that's relevant to you, but we're going to put it into perspective. But if you hire people, this will open your eyes. Okay, if you interview people, and if you're in a leadership role, a management role, and you hire people, this is going to answer some questions for you. When you are looking for your next promotion internally at Verizon or one of Verizon's many subsidiaries, I want you to keep these next few slides in context. I'm going to go way back to 1985. All right, I'm a little bit older than some of you. And so this, when I was helping people get jobs in the mid-'80s, what you would do is you would go get those classifieds. You would put it across the kitchen table. You'd get your highlighter, your pen, mark up, by the column, you go by columns, IT or, accounting or what have you. You'd make your calls on Monday. Okay, these jobs look really good. I'm going to make a call. You would get the secretary of the ultimate decision maker. You would set an appointment and you would go in. This whole process took you about 2 to 4 weeks, and you would have a very, very good job within control. You were in so much control here, all right? You knew who was interviewing, who was hiring, You had a nice little conversation with the gatekeeper, whoever that was, and you actually got to meet the decision maker. We come into the 90s, and we got some new tools, right? And this is funny that I'm going back this far, but I just need you guys to pay attention to the past because there's some relevancy when we zoom to the future. Now, we had the fax machine. Wow. People were like, wow, I could fax my resume. And we got email. Oh, my goodness. Wouldn't you just have loved if that day never happened? Because now we're just, we're chained to our phones and our desktops with the email. We got voicemail. These were 3 big advancements. So now I still would get out my classifieds, but I had all these different options to communicate with you. Also, the phone got cooler. At my still, though, I'm setting an appointment with the gatekeeper, and I'm going to meet with the decision maker. And now this is about career advancement. I'm just taking a little bit. We're going to camp on just how people get jobs in the first place. Enter the year 2000. Everything changed here. We got job boards. Okay, this was the door. This was the door to global competition right here. And it has not stopped. It is accelerating beyond what you could even believe, okay? And so everything changed here. Everything changed here. We still had the fax. We still had email. Oh, the phone gets cooler. That's nice. And this is interesting. This isn't an error, but did you notice that my gatekeeper is a little bit bigger than my decision maker? Look where we are. So, we just made it through .com, or we just made it through Y2K, excuse me. For those of you that have been around as long as me, I always thought the world was going to end because we didn't have enough digits on our computers, and voila, we lived. And then we got into the .com explosion of the internet, and then we also added CRM. And so the decision maker, this is also very interesting, and you need to take good notice of this. It just happens so subtly over the years that people don't attribute what's going on to what really happened. Decision maker is smaller now in the interview process because this decision maker is really got a lot of things going. Okay, we're moving out of mainframe into client server technology. They're more fragmented. There's more tools. And so your gatekeeper has a much stronger hand and more authority in the interview process. All right, let's look at today. And I have to confess, I actually need to even bring this up to speed. Here you are. Maybe you're trying to get a promotion internally, or you're looking for advancement in one of the Verizon subsidiaries. You now have global competition, all right? And this has never stopped, right? We still have even more job boards than ever, and we have all the social networking. Oh, my gosh, what should I do? Should I do LinkedIn? What's going on Facebook? What about Google+? What about Instagram? What about Snapchat? What are, and tons of applications. It's overwhelming. Notice my phone got cooler. Now, because of all of this, we have global call centers, right? So actually, if you're trying to, from the outside, maybe one of your kids who's college age is trying to get a job, they're in this, or one of your friends, okay, or if anybody got caught up in, any of the rifts that go on in large companies, which used to be cyclical, but they now happen all the time. Your resume goes now to a global call center, okay? It's not even in the U.S. It goes into what we call applicant tracking systems, which is software to manage all this chaos, and I like to call this the void, the dark black void, because you put your resume in and it never sees the light of day. If somebody finds it, there's not one nice gatekeeper that you can build rapport with and learn a little bit about the decision maker before your interview. Oh, no. There's a league of gatekeepers. They're also global, and they really don't know who the decision maker is. They don't know the culture of the team. They don't know the goals, the mission, the charter. They are just trying to fill jobs out of this mess on keywords and get them over here. Now, we also have all different ways to do interviews, which I have a white paper on that, which I'll give as a gift. But you not only have to be good with your resume, good with, a good interview, and doing your research. But now, then, you kind of need to be good on the video too. So that's a new skill set. That's not so new, but I think that it's been slow. The adoption's been slow for interviews. I see that really picking up speed now. And then you've got your decision maker. I made my decision maker a little bit like Elon Musk because I have a big fat crush on the guy. But let me show you where this is now incorrect. This is going to be robots. So my global competition is going to be people and robots. As early as last year, if I was having this talk with you last year, I'd kind of joke with myself. I would think I was clever to say that, ha ha ha, robots. I want to tell you, it's not clever anymore. That's happening. And then I would also joke and tell you, and the next time I do the slide, I'm going to upgrade the phone since I upgraded it to an Apple Watch. And then this is not true. This is not true. Wouldn't it be so great if there was just one decision maker at the end of the road? There's not. There's still like 3 or 4. Average company, especially the size of Verizon, to get any decision made, there's 5 to 6 people to get any decision made in corporate America. We cannot get a decision made anymore without 5 to 6 people. So if you think things maybe sometimes are a little bit slow, those are some of the reasons why. So when we look at yesterday and how much control you had over your career to today, I wanted to paint this for you, and I hope that this is a little bit helpful. This is not how to get a job session, but this does pertain to you when you look at advancement. And it's also good, okay? Last time, one of my stats was that 65% of jobs would be filled from the outside, and that was a little unnerving. So I'm going to balance that out today to say that may be true, okay? 65% of jobs are being filled from the outside, but look at all that people have to go through to even get into your company, okay? So you have the upper hand working at your company. If you are looking for a next promotion or you want to increase your skills or learn something new, I would tell you that Verizon is a complete playground of opportunity for you. So I share this with you. I'm going to come off of my screen share, and I'm going to come back to the WebEx. And I just want to get some comments here. So let me just stop talking. Oh, you know what? Let me show you one more thing. Sorry. This is also important. And then I'm going to get some comments. Here's one more thing on the past, which is in the old days, I know I sound 19, but I'm, a couple of years older than that. When we would do interviewing, and again, this is pertinent for you on either side of that coin, if you interview people or if you're trying to interview for a new job, okay, at Verizon, if when I was interviewing for a role and somebody said, I need a programmer, I need a technician, I need a provisioner, I need a project manager, what have you. If I interviewed 5 to 7 people, basically all 5 to 7 of them, would 65% of the skill set would be the same. Okay, I could compare apples to apples, and then you see like 2 of them might be maybe a better fit for my culture. And so that's like, so now I'm choosing, everybody's got the same skill set. I can depend on that. And now I'm just looking for culture and fit. Today, that's not at all true. If I interview 5 to 7 people, maybe 2 of them have 35 to 40% of the skills that I need, and everyone else comes to me with a whole different skill set. So this is also important for you to know. I sit with managers who are hiring all the time, and they bemoan the fact that it takes so long. And I showed you the other slide, the distance between the interviewer and the interviewee. That's one reason. And the second reason is depicted here. When you interview people, you can no longer compare apples to apples. People come in with some of the skills that you think you need, but the jobs, as you know, tend to change every 6 months. So you need to look at future skills. You still need to look at culture. Sometimes they bring stuff that, you might need if you go to a new technology. So it's no longer like, yeah, everybody has about the same competency, and let's just see who's going to fit best on the team. That's gone. So now let me come off of the screen share back into the chat. Let me just take a minute, and let me hear from you. What are your thoughts about that? Did you find that interesting, or do you have a comment about that? I know I'm spending a little bit of time in the past. I promise I'll tie it all together. But go ahead and give me some chats here. What did you think about that section? Or do you hire people? Is that interesting to you? So let me see some chats from you. I got it very interesting. Thank you. Anyone else? You're trying to... Yeah, I like this. It still seems to be who you know. And you're very perceptive on that point, because that's one way you could pull through that whole thing faster. That is a really good comment. The skill set decline's interesting. Networking is the key. Overwhelming. I know, right? I'm overwhelmed by it. But I think people don't really take it into consideration. And so that's why I'm here today, to just kind of piece it apart and show you things. If you know this compared to 100 people that do not know it, that immediately puts you ahead. So you guys really like the networking. I really like these comments. So thank you very much for that. All right, let's go into the future. I'm going to go back to my screen share. That was the past. Let's look at the future. And this one I just need to, just for fun. Okay. Sorry, that's a little fuzzy, but can you even believe, can you even imagine that we have put a Tesla into orbit, and it's just circling around orbit? And we did it as a private company. Elon Musk's SpaceX put up the, Falcon, the heavy load Falcon, shot it into space, drops Tesla with Starman, and it's unbelievable. And the side rockets, the boosters, actually landed back on the platform, back on Earth, right where they took off. In the old days, when we would launch a rocket, we would just think that all had to blow up over the ocean. Once you send it into orbit, it's going to be destroyed, it's going to burn, and, pieces will fall into the ocean. Now we've got Starman literally circling. Unbelievable. If this doesn't make your jaw drop, I don't know. And a private citizen. I don't know if you also had the opportunity to see some of the opening games from the Olympics going on right now, but if you did not, I admonish you to go to YouTube and or Google and just type, Olympic Games drones, and see what they were able to do, creating animated moving characters, up in the sky with illuminated drones. Amazing. And then it's really fun to also watch on YouTube the interviews for how they handled all that with the winds. Very interested. These are just little tiny drones, and to get them all to come into shape was amazing. And then I'm really actually not kidding about how fast robotics is increasing. I've always been in technology, and I've always helped people manage their careers. That's what I do. So I'm back, started way back in the mainframe, as I showed you guys, and here we are talking about robotics. If you go to YouTube, which I pray that you all do, sometime over the weekend, and just type robots, see what these guys, Boston Dynamics, are doing, see what other people are doing, and I think you're going to be disturbed. You're either going to be really excited or really disturbed, but both are good. Pay attention to how you feel, but you've got to pay attention to this. Some of it seems really silly, but if you look at the past, okay? Look at that interview grid and how fast the phones change. And remember, I showed you that, right? And now we're looking at robots, but you already know how fast things change. And if we are all pushing on robots now, think where we will be in 5 or 10 years. And I don't know one of us, maybe there's a small percentage on the line today that could retire in the next 5 years. But, man, if you're retiring and you're even in your 70s, you're going to live another 20, maybe even 30 years, you need to keep staying current. So you can't turn a blind eye to where we are all going. I'm going to show you some other things in case the robotics thing is just not for you, okay? It's disturbing. There's a lot going on with robotics. So it's mechanical, it's creative, it's electrical, it's physics, a lot of math, a lot of building. It's very super cool, okay? I just saw, these are all current articles for you. New York Times article yesterday, why AI researchers at Google got desks near the boss. So you can just go back to the New York Times. AI stands for artificial intelligence, and that'll take you to all kinds of other articles about, wait a minute, Google's a huge campus. Google is blocks and blocks and blocks of buildings, and yes, they do have the Google bikes thrown all over the lawn like a bunch of kids, which is really funny to me. It's like, you guys are all adults. I know you ride bikes, but can't you just put your bike back in the bike stand? But anyways, the artificial intelligence team is sitting right next to the boss. So that was a statement showing what are Google's priorities. I'm going to take you to another site. It's a beautiful site, you guys. It's called informationisbeautiful.net. And here's a really great way to keep yourself current. And also, you could probably use some of the stuff in presentations. Another thing that's coming along is blockchain. So if you go to this URL, and you guys will all have this deck, there's really some very inexpensive training on what is blockchain technology. And I'm going to just tell you right now, I know the robotics thing is disturbing, personally. It's exciting and disturbing all at the same time. That's how I feel. Blockchain is, I'm not, this isn't a webinar about blockchain, but I need you to investigate what it is, because I think that blockchain, and it's the underlying technology behind the cryptocurrencies and the Bitcoins, and it's basically a worldwide ledger. Okay, so we have worldwide internet, so it's worldwide ledger, and it's a way that we could all collaborate together safely, securely, because of the blockchain technology, and we could remove third parties. So I wouldn't have to have a PayPal between you and me. If we wanted to do a transaction, you and I could just do it. We wouldn't need Airbnb. If I wanted to rent out my place and you wanted to rent it, we could do it together on blockchain. I wouldn't need Uber or Lyft. I could have blockchain Uber and get rid of Uber altogether and just have blockchain. Now, if you just think about what I just said, Uber and Lyft and Airbnb, those are all current day phenomenons that have come up within the last 5-7 years, and we're already thinking of ways to replace them. So if you feel pressed at Verizon and in your job, and Lowell and the board keep buying all kinds of new companies, that is why. There is so much going on to compete with. It's not just you and your job. Look at, Uber, Lyft, Airbnb. There are already ways in play right now to replace that whole business model, kind of like Barnes & Noble's went the way to Amazon, okay? So if you know that, these are things that you could study. And I have one more slide for you, and again, you can just go here later. But I was reading this article just yesterday from the Harvard Business Review that you don't all have to be data scientists. This is interesting. There's a new job, and it's called being a translator. And I've been playing around with big data for about 3 years now. A translator, you're going to really like what that job is. It's like a PM/business analyst that works between the data scientist, the data engineer, and the business. And if you go to this article, and you'll get these slides later, it'll give you the full job description of what is a translator. In the next 5 years, we're going to need 2 to 4 million translators. And those are skills that we have access to. I'm not a physicist. I'm not a scientist. I was math was never my strong point. And so where does that leave me with all of this? Well, there's plenty of opportunities for all of us, no matter what our skills were. Okay, now I'm just going to take a breath, and we have plenty of time. I'm going to come back here because I just really threw you straight into the future. I'm back to my chat. I want to hear from you. Is robotics exciting or scary? Okay, let me hear from you on the chat. What do you think about robotics? Or does it seem too far out there, or does it seem real to you? Exciting. Okay, I got an exciting from Gary. Good. If it's exciting, I have good news for you. If it's scary, yes, thank you. I think it's both. Very exciting. Okay, you guys like it. And you guys both. Excellent. It is exciting, but there's a lot of real ramifications to this because, there are a lot less jobs as we continue to automate and automate and automate. We end up automating ourselves out of jobs, right? So I do predict that probably in the next 5 years, if you've not stayed current with your skill set, it's going to be too hard to catch up. So that's really why I'm spending some time on these subjects. Okay, thanks very much for your comments. It's good I know that you're with me, so thank you. Yes, always keep learning, definitely. All right, now I've showed you the future. Okay, now we're going to talk about the now, and we're doing really good on our time here. Remember that. So we did the past, we did the future, and we're going to do the now. Remember, there are 4 things we can all do to accelerate our career and to stay current. The number 1 was audience. The number 2 was our success portfolio. The number 3 thing was the eyebrow lifters, or, sort of an elevator pitch, but I call it an eyebrow lifter. And the number 4 thing was learning. Today, I really want to take you in onto a little bit about audience, which we sort of just did with looking at the macro market of where jobs are and where the trends are, right? I always look at what's coming. I don't start with me. I look at where's the money, where's the beef, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to just show you one little tool that we can use for research that is free. And then the remainder of this time, we're actually going to go in to do some live presentations on LinkedIn. And I'm going to show you how to hack out a really nice profile for yourself and put together a really nice resume. And what I want to do is get you to the place where you can start doing information interviews across the Verizon ecosystem, because you guys all shouted it back to me just a few minutes ago, network, 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 network. So today is a real roll up your sleeves, hands-on live demo. Let's start with Owler. So off I go. I just have to find out which browser it was in. Okay, so we will go here. Okay. It's owler.com. It is free. You just sign up or sign in, and I'm already a member, so let me go to my email and just open that up. And I am here. Okay. And I watch Verizon. Okay, it's no surprise. You guys have been my customer forever, 21 years. I watch Verizon. So I get a daily snapshot in my email of what's going on with Verizon and others. So here's a little bit of news about Sprint, Fairpoint, Comcast, just coming to me. You can also do this with Google Alerts, and there's other places to do it. But, you can see kind of who I'm following, and then I would just click onto it. So let's check out Verizon. Let's go. Click to follow. Let's see what you guys are doing. You guys buy about a company a month, all right? So, and I know that you're getting this on your internal feeds. Verizon's decision to stop selling unlocked phones means travelers need to plan ahead. Oh, okay, I could look at that. View all the Verizon news. Let's go here. And I know that you guys are a communications company, and I know that by working with you, you're getting pummeled with news. But look at what I have. That's you. You're internal. I don't have access to that information. I'm just little old Omnicron sitting on the outside. And look how much I can know about you in one split second just because I subscribed. So I've got what's going on with you. And a lot of times I find I'm more current about what's going on with you than you are. So that's a hint, okay? And what have you guys been up to lately? These are Verizon call center transitioning employees to work from home. Sweet. Look at that in Huntsville. That's nice. We're closing that call center. Takes the lead on the Apple Watch. That's wonderful. I hope you guys get discounts on that. News of Note founder. So what's that? Frontier. Okay, this was News of Note on Frontier. So here's where you guys are competing, and you can just keep going, right? So let's see. Oh, look, there's Lowell. Lowell never ages. Kind of like me. I keep using the same picture that I've had for the last 10 years. I never age. Okay, so you could give Lowell a shout out if you join. As an approval rating of 62%. So if you join, come on to Owler and give him a shout out. I know that would be a great thing for the HSO to do. It just asks you, what do you think about Lowell? Is he good or not? I voted. I really love Lowell. Okay, your revenue is at $124 billion. Your employees are at 160,000. You were founded there. And if I go in a little bit more, I can actually see, read the full article. See, do you think this, it asks you these questions, right? Do you think Verizon's more financially stable? I don't know, so I don't answer stuff that I don't know. But let me go here and see if I can go to all Verizon news. And I'm showing this to you for a reason. We have to look at our market. Here's how you compare to, here's all your competitors. Bam. Okay. And then Verizon revenue, trailing in the last 12 months, a little bit about that. And click to unlock. So I'm going to stay here for now, but Verizon acquisitions, look at this. Did you know, and this is really, really important to you guys, okay? This is where I want to be. Okay, talking to Verizon, loyal employees, team members, associates, and we're talking about your company. Look at your company, right? I don't know what Nidell does, develops and provides machine learning based on automated threat hunting. Right there. That's big data, artificial intelligence. Wow. Calendar operator, okay, blah, blah, blah. I can keep going. Straight Path Communications. Did you guys know that you have bought all this? Look at this. You guys, right? I used to say Verizon buys a company a month. And looks like you do. Looks like, we took a little bit of a break here, right? But look at all these companies. I'm going to show you something wonderful and amazing. Of course, we all know about Oath, right, which is AOL, Yahoo, Verizon Digital Media Services. Very, very interesting. All right, keep that in mind. And that was just Owler.com, and this is free. Okay, I just signed up, and now I spy on you. Okay, I'm a fan. Let's go over to really, I'm showing you how to work on your success portfolio. Let me start with Visual CV. And we are recording this, and we have talked about this in the past, but it's just visualcv.com. There's a free version, which I don't recommend. There is I think it was $9 a month. Let's go check it out. I'll show you how cool it is. Okay, I'm not in the pricing. It sees my cookies here, but you guys can go to it and see how much it costs later. But I think it's like $9 a month to have a visual CV. And what it is it is literally your resume online. Okay. I'm still on. Let's do that. Oh, I was out there too much. Are you guys? I'm still connected, right?
Yeah, well, it went back to the WebEx. You were
okay.
on it. I was seeing you click on it. Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, it said I lost my internet connection, so that scared me for a second. Okay, let me go back to my screen here. I probably just had it open too long. So let me try it again, or I won't be able to do my demo. There we go.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so this is my visual CV, and you just put it in bits. See, like that. You edit, like your title and stuff about you. It's just a nice, good old-fashioned editor like you're all used to. Different jobs. I can keep adding sections here. And what's cool, okay, so that's one version. Let's go back here. I want to look at different versions. That's interesting. So I didn't have to change anything, okay? I put it in one time, and I get to see all these different versions. And there's some, some IP that I have. I could highlight boards that I'm on, things that are pertinent for me. And what's really cool about having your resume online is it's not lost in a Word document somewhere, and you really need to continually update it. Let's go back to my versions here. We'll show you. I even have a mascot, Value Trophy Man, so he has a resume, and he's a pretty impressive guy. Let's go to templates, and let me go back to mine for a second. We'll go to that one. I just want to show you how easy this is. See, I'm like, whoa, I never age. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, if I want to, let's see how this one would look. Okay, get a little bit of a different view. Not too much different. Go back here. What if I want to do that one? Gallant. Okay, that picture's way too big. I wouldn't do that one. If I had maybe like it's just too uncomfortably big for me. This is nice. We did a nice one for a somebody wanted to get into space. And so we put a big picture of space on this. It was very, very nice, right? You can change these pictures. And okay, I'm just showing this to you. And I highly recommend, now there's other tools out there. If you just type visual CV in Google and see what other competitors they have. But let's go back. This is, again, I'm in business. If I were a photographer, that might be a cool one, right? Or for what we used it for. But let's say I want to share it. I can make a PDF on it. So just PDF it and email it right now. If I wanted to share it, I just copy that. And now I can send it to you in email. I could put it in my SIG line. I could put it in LinkedIn. And by having this link, I could also see when people are clicking on my resume. So this is a really, really good format. We are more digital. People, 50 to 60% of email is now opened up on phones. So if you're trying to make a good impression, do you really want to send an attachment in a Word document? Why wouldn't you just send a link in a text and be like, oh yeah, here's a little bit about my bio. And this would be where you would really keep your accomplishments current, all right? So I highly, highly recommend. Let's go now to the hard part. This was the fun part, and let's go talk about how to build your own profile, all right? So I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to start in my normal LinkedIn. And I have something called the Sales Navigator. We pay I personally pay for this. Omnicron doesn't because it's my network and I want to keep my network. So I pay $75 a month for Sales Navigator, and I think if you buy it for the year, there's a huge discount. But let me show you the cool things I can do with Sales Navigator. And it is your network, and you guys all jumped on it immediately, which was it's your network that gets you to the next place. So to me, it's really worth my time to build out my network. Okay, so I have searches going for companies that I'm working with, and you can see that. But let me go and look at, I'm going to do an advanced search for leads. Yep. And I'm going to come in here, and we're just talking about how to build out your profile, okay? So I'm going to say I want to look at people who are from Verizon. And you can even do this, I think, on the free one, okay? I'm going to look at people who are with Verizon. I'm going to say Verizon Wireless. And I'll just keep it there for the point of our, and then let's say I want to look at people who are at the VP level and the director level and the manager level, okay? And I might be looking for my next promotion, and, could be, I'll go with IT, of course, but I could do engineering, entrepreneurship. But let's do another one here that's down here for program and project management. Purchasing could be good. All right, look at all these jobs. Okay. All right, so I'm just checking my database to see, I want to see some people. Search. So there's 4,570 people that work at Verizon, and I'm in Navigator, okay? I pay for this out of my own pocket, okay? And so I'm going to show you how to do it for free, but things are going fast, and if you want to get there faster, and we all know that the network is kind of the key way to do it, I admonish you to spend a little bit of money on yourself, okay? So we've got Radhika. I've got all of these people that, let's say they're in all different parts of Verizon, and let's say I want to become a vice president. Okay, I'm let me do this. Let me take this down. Let's say I want to move up in my career I'm going to take the VP out, and I'm going to keep the director, and then I'm going to add a senior. Okay. Search 14,000, and I'm going to say United States to take it down a bit. I'm going to take out information technology, and I'm just going to have program and project management there. That's better. What I'm doing right now, before I go to build my personal profile, I'm actually going to look at people, and I'm going to see what they say about themselves, okay? And you guys might know these people. I mean, I know obviously a ton of them, right? Because they're number ones to me. But let's look and let's see about this David Holler. And maybe I want to get into digital advertising. And he's a program project manager. And I'm going to look. And I'm sorry that my screen is small, but you can do this, right? We're just kind of playing. We're experimenting in the LinkedIn, gymnasium. I'm going to pay close attention, and I might even, this seems terrible. Watch this. Oh, my gosh. What is she doing? She's plagiarizing. I'm going to open this up, and I'm just going to grab it, okay? And that view is tiny. Sorry about that. All right. I'm just grabbing it for a little bit, and I always will tell you, in music, there are 7 notes, except for music is infinite, all right? All I'm looking for right now is I think I want to build my profile. And I like these words, launched, enabled, Wide range of cross-functional teams. I'm picking up some things here. I like that background, and I also might like David. I was like, he might be a really good contact for me. Let me go back. And I'm going to keep doing this. What I'm doing is I'm literally looking for people who are in a same sort of skill set that I'm in. I try to go 2 levels up, right? So if I'm a lead, I might look at a senior manager. If I'm a manager, I might look at a director. If I'm a director, I'm going to look at a VP. And all that I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm sort of stalking to see, what are people saying about themselves. But I want to build my visual CV, and I want to build my own LinkedIn profile. And remember, the rule is always look at the market, always look at the audience, always go there. So all I'm doing is I'm going to do a little research and say, what are people saying about themselves, okay? And I'm just grabbing it, right? I'm going to grab it, I'm going to cut and paste it onto Word, and by the time I'm done, I might keep one sentence out of this or a word out of that, but it just really helps me. This is so much easier for me to edit or bullet or piece apart than it would be for me to start on a blank piece of paper, right? I kind of like this, strong results-driven product manager, maybe our technology leader, or maybe I just like the bullets. So this probably feels like plagiarism, but by the time you put it all together and delete and move and then put your own stuff in it, it's going to be 100% your own work. So I'm giving you a hack so that you can feel comfortable just seeing, what do people say about themselves? And I'm starting with, people that are 1 to 2 levels up from where you are, okay? And this is, this is LinkedIn. There's the free version. If I go to the free version, here, let me go to my free version. So here's LinkedIn. And I have about 10 minutes left, so we're still doing pretty good on time. Okay, here's the free version. I'm going to go into my search. I just clicked, and I'm just going to hit the bar here. Okay, so I didn't search for anything yet. And now I'm going to go to all filters. And I literally could do what I just did. Okay, I could search for Verizon, and it would still give me that. I could, it's all free, which is really good. I could look for people at my competitors. I could look for specific industries. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull up profiles of people who I might like to have a profile similar to theirs, or I might like to, just get some wordsmithing. This is a crazy hack. If I go to Google and I just type project manager resume, this is crazy. Like, you kind of have to sort through a bunch of advertising when you do this, so just go down. But I could also, it doesn't matter what you type. Type any job, vice president, provisioning, networking, network engineer, okay, and resume. Just type that right in your Google search bar, and you're going to get samples of resumes that you could go use. You're like, oh, I really like that one. That looks good. That will look good on my visual CV. It's right there. It's free, free, free. Another way to use Google is jobs, okay? So this will give you a ton of job boards, but all I'm doing right now is I could get myself a really nice, profile in LinkedIn and a visual CV in one weekend if I just hunker down and go out to LinkedIn and Google and do just what I did. Now I have about 8 minutes left, And so I'm going to show you what do I do with all of that information. Let's say, 16 hours have passed. You guys went out. It was a weekend, and you found yourself a good Starbucks or a good Red Bull or a nice place in the garden with good internet, and you went and you built your LinkedIn profile and your visual CV. Now what do you do? Okay, here's the fun part of all of this. I go back into my search, and I go back into those people that I was looking for at let's go to Owler, in fact. Okay, you guys are going to love this. Let's say that I want to get in touch with, where do we go with Owler? Maybe I like robotics. Maybe I like artificial intelligence. Maybe I want to do marketing for oath, okay? I look at some of the acquisitions. Where do we go with acquisitions? Yeah, okay. I've built my profile, and I want to know what's going on at Nidell Corp. I don't even know what they do, okay? Or Wide Open West, or oath, or telematics. I literally go into the company, and then I go back into LinkedIn, and I type, oath. Is there anybody from oath that I know? Let's see. Current companies, oath. Oath. Who knows? Oath Internet. Apply. Okay, cool. There's some people at Oath that I'm a first and I'm a second with. Let's say I want to get to know this guy, Derek, okay, or Matt, or I'm looking for new people at Verizon that I could start to network with. And so I've got my profile, and now I literally just kind of want to get a feel for what are the jobs out there, what are these people doing, and I want to be friends with them. Right? So I might, first of all, hey, Mike, I work at Verizon too. Let's be friends. I literally would go down to all of these people like, hey, Matt, I see that you work at Verizon. I've been at Verizon for 25 years. Let's connect, right? So that would be phase one, is just go get some connections. But then I would see, are they publishing even in your own internal? Like if you see somebody's publishing and that's coming to you internally at Verizon, the first thing you should do is go find them on LinkedIn. And then, actually, I'm going to go back to my sharing. Sorry. I'm going to end with this because we're coming up at time. I would go back to them at LinkedIn and say, oh, I saw that article that you wrote on such and such today. I've been at Verizon, for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. This is what I do. And would love to connect with you. So we just spend a bunch of time on the stuff that I always want you guys to do. And everybody says, yeah, Robin, it's a really good idea. I'm definitely going to do it. But you don't, okay? And so I wanted to spend time with you and actually show you it's not hard. You saw me. I was cutting and pasting, and we recorded it. It's that easy. So when I said earlier in the next 90 days, you could actually be in a whole new place in your career, I really meant it. But you have to do a little bit of groundwork. The future's coming. Big data, artificial intelligence, robotics, blockchain. Oh my gosh! For a technology fiend like me, I'm in heaven right now. But how am I going to keep up? How am I going to stay relevant? And how can I make a ton of money? How can I leapfrog above where I am today? Okay, there's nothing that holds me in a position today. If I want to get ahead and completely leapfrog, I'm no longer bound by I have to have a degree or I have to be a physicist, because I can pretty much start training myself on many things online, but I'm going to need that network. So today we spent a lot of time on the network, and here's just your summary view, which is find topics and people that you admire in the LinkedIn. I want you to have an ever-improving profile. You follow, you like, you comment, you share, okay? I don't want you to just do it to the world. Just do it to industries or people or job titles that you're really interested in, and do it within the family. You guys have 160,000 employees. Elect yourself to ambassador status. When you reach out to people, you could say, hi, I'm a member of the HSO. I've been with Verizon for 5 years, da-da-da, bam, immediate ambassador. I really loved your profile, or I really loved that article, or I really love to know what you guys are doing at telematics. You know, I'm doing this in provisioning, and what we do is really awesome, and I would like to learn what you guys are doing. You set up a call, coffee, BLD stands for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You conduct an informational interview, and you just Google this. Robin, what is an informational interview? Google, how do I do an informational interview? Okay? And then go shadow them, or go learn their job, or go offer your talents for free to, you know, wiggle in. Do you want to go work on robotics? Do you want to go work at one of those new companies that Verizon just paid money for? With that, let me just show you what you get today for participating, and then we'll just kind of come back for comments, and we're going to be out of time. But if you will, if you liked today's session and you want to keep working on your career enhancement, just email greattraining@omnicron.com. You can put in number 1, Career Accelerator. If you want a career health check, we will send that to you. I'm traveling today and tomorrow, so we'll probably get these things to you by Monday at the latest. Also, I have a really cool interview white paper that I just found, or you can hit us up for a complimentary 1-year subscription. And I hear that I must turn the mic over to Odie and Mike. So there you have it.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much, Robin, for all your help and for allowing us to learn a little bit more. Folks, we will be sending a copy of this session to everybody via a link, and also the deck with all the little nuggets that you just received. So thank you, everyone, for joining. And again, Robin, thank you so much. And, of course, we look forward to our next session. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Odie. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Robin. Bye.
Bye-bye.